All right, are you team air fry, team oven roasted? Let's find out. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Chronicles of a Chef. I'm Scott Hamilton, and today we are going to pit two potatoes against each other. Well, techniques against each other, really. We got air fried potatoes, we got oven roast potatoes. We're going to focus on the technique using my leftover herbs from my herb roasted salmon video. Oh, these are going to be delicious. And bonus, a Potatas Bravas sauce. Oh, this roasted tomato sauce, so good. Best part, you can do it in the oven while you're cooking either one of these. Let's get cooking. Let's get started on our roasted potato, where we're going to do some parboiling to get that one ready. And then we'll jump to the air fryer potato. We cut them all to similar size for both the air fryer and the roasted. This is going to boil a little bit faster than doing whole. But it's also going to give us great surface area to get nice and crispy and crunchy on both of them. So that's going to be great. I've salted the water so that we can add salt. I also salted the water in here because that's kind of a bit of a brine, and you want to hold your potatoes in water so that they don't turn brown as you're doing your other prep and doing all those things. We're going to add 2 teaspoons of baking soda to our potato water here. And the reason why we're doing that is we're looking to let that baking soda start to break down the outside of the potatoes a little bit. It's going to give us a different texture on the outside. And you'll see it when we dry them out and kind of stir them. It'll kind of break them up and give us these dips and curves. And the other thing that we're going to do is I'm going to take all the stems from my herbs and I'm just going to throw them in the water. We're going to be able to pull these things out pretty easily, so I'm not too stressed. This is just a way that we can add some more flavor into the potato. When we're trying to make a simple ingredient like, say, the potato delicious, we want to take every opportunity to add flavors when and where we can. So as we're not boiling the ones for the air fryer, we're just going to cook them straight because that's about speed and getting a good product as quickly as possible. This is going to take a little more time, but because we have that time, we might as well take advantage of it and add some more flavors. Cooking this in a stock in some sort of fortified liquid is going to amplify the flavors of those potato and make the singular ingredient the superstar with all these other additional flavors. So we're going to cover it. This is cold water that we have it in, and we're going to start the boil. And these are probably going to boil for probably 10, maybe 15 minutes. We want them soft enough that the fork can go through, but we don't want them starting to fall apart. I have my air frying rack right here. We're going to take our potatoes. I'm going to give them a quick strain. We're going to give them a quick dry. We don't want these super wet. A dry potato is going to get a better crust on it. Having less moisture to battle through, that heat's going to be able to caramelize, and that crisp texture that we want is going to come from a nice dry potato. So we're going to pat these guys dry, and I'm going to throw them back into this pan. We're going to throw a little bit of oil in here, a little salt, a little pepper, and then about half or so of our minced garlic. And we're gonna season these potatoes the same when they go into the oven to fry up. And then we will toss them with the herbs at the end to add really bright, fresh flavors to it from all those herbs. We're not looking for cooked herbs. We want these herbs to really lighten everything up. There's that. Now we're just gonna give this a nice little toss. Make sure everything's nicely coated. Woo! Potatoes on the run. There we go. We're dealing with potatoes here. A little extra salt. There we go. Okay. Now we can go ahead and get this out. Perfect. We're gonna get these in my air fryer. I have it set to 425, and we're gonna cook them for about 15 minutes. While our potatoes start to boil and the air fryer potatoes are going, we are gonna prep out what we need to roast to make a quick roasted tomato, garlicky, almost like a Potatas Bravas kind of sauce. So we got a whole bunch of garlic. We have a medley of cherry tomatoes because I had a half a container left over, needed to use it. And we got half of red onion. I'm gonna throw that in there. And we're gonna kind of give this a little toss. Use up the salt and any garlic, anything that was left over. Hit it with some more salt, some more pepper. There we go. A little oil. Beautiful. And then we're just going to take a sheet of foil. We're just going to wrap this guy up. It's okay for it to have some areas for steam to be released. That's all right. We want a lot of the moisture to stick with this. Letting some of that steam out is going to be a-okay. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and just throw this on the rack. We're probably going to roast this for close to half hour, 45 minutes. I almost forgot. We're gonna use some of this Steel City Peruvian Inca blend. Ooh, nice and smoky. Oh, it's gonna be delicious. I'm just gonna sprinkle a little on there. And then we'll add it to, when we blend this all up and add it to the mayo, we'll add more as needed. There we go. All right, we've been boiling for probably about 10 or so minutes, and oh, it's hot. Look at this guy right here. So we want it to go in with pressure, but it's not falling apart or breaking apart, which is perfect. So we're going to go ahead and get these strained off. They're looking good. They're smelling delicious. Similar to how we pat down the potatoes that before we put them in the air fryer, we are going to put these in a dry pan. We want to kind of force them to the dry. The other thing that we want to do is we kind of want to bang them around a little bit, because see how it's starting to get a little bit frilly on the outside, getting a little fluffy almost. We want that because that's the nooks and crannies that are gonna crisp up so beautifully in the oven. I feel like these are gonna be nice and dry. We're gonna turn the heat off of this guy. We're just gonna let them hang out. We're gonna give it a little shake every once in a while. We're gonna get this pan in the oven, so our potatoes go on a hot pan before we put them in the oven. Instead of dirtying another bowl and all that kind of stuff, we're gonna go ahead and hit these with a little bit of oil and our garlic, some pepper, and some salt. And we're gonna give those a nice little stir. Try to get them evenly coated. Beautiful. Now I'd say that these potatoes are ready to go. One thing that I love about doing potatoes this way is that you can do this ahead of time. You can do this easily. You can do this the night before, have it ready to go, so that way the next day you're ready to rock and roll. You just throw them in the oven, they come out fresh for your dinner. You don't have to worry about doing all these steps while doing everything else. Let these cool down overnight in a single layer, let them cool, cover them. The next day, they're gonna be perfect, ready to roast. So prep-wise, big parties, dinners in advance, this is so easy and delicious. All right, we can pull these guys out. Those are looking pretty good. I'd say we are gonna leave this in the oven there for a little bit. All right, let's get these over here. These potatoes are looking pretty good. We got some good colorization on here. I like that. They're evenly done. They're hot, but cooked all the way through. True love. We're gonna go ahead and get them in this bowl real quick. We're gonna put some of these fresh herbs right on top. We're just gonna give these a nice toss. We want that herbs, we want the essence, we want those herb oils, all those things coating this nicely. There we go. But then I don't want these to steam while we wait for these to cook, so we're gonna put them back on this rack, give it a little shake, hot. And then what we're gonna do is we'll let them cool like this, and that way the air is gonna continue to flow, and these aren't gonna get soggy. These are gonna stay crispy. We got our pan ripping hot. So it was 20 minutes that we used in the air fryer. So we're gonna do 20 minutes in here also. Every oven's gonna be different. So remember, what does your oven do? I did some roasted potatoes the other day at my brother's house. Similar process, was trying to test it out and everything. And it took almost like an hour for them to get a good crisp. And I was at 450, almost took it to 475. So just remember that. We're gonna drop these guys into that oily, delicious pan here. Those guys down, right? We want to make sure that these are all in a nice single flat layer. As much of the potato as we can have touching the pan. That contact is going to be where so much of the caramelization and that crisp deliciousness is going to happen. All right, let's get these in the oven and we'll let them cook for about 20 or so minutes and we'll see where we're at. All right, so we've got our roasted tomatoes and garlic. The garlic is starting to turn brown. It's a little warm. Tomatoes are softening up. The onions are starting to look a little more translucent, which is perfect. All we're going to do now is drop this, and we want to make sure that all of that liquid from the roasting off is in there too. And oh, it smells so good. We're going to give this a good blend. Woohoo! Oh, it smells so good. Well, oh, Now, oh, it smells so good. That texture is great. It's a little on the chunky side, but that's okay. We're gonna cool this sauce down before we add some mayo to it to kind of give it that thick aioli kind of vibe. This by itself would be perfect, but I just want a little thicker and I want it to be a little bit more fatty. Cool this down quickly. We're gonna throw this on a pan like this, give it a little shake so we can thin it out. And then I'm gonna throw this in the freezer for about like 5-10 minutes, basically until our potatoes are just about done. And then we'll be good to go. It's gonna cool down, with it being a thin layer, this will cool down super fast. We are about halfway through the cooking process on these potatoes in the oven being roasted, and I just wanted to give them a little check to see what was going on. They're kind of sticking, which isn't great. Oh, there's a good one. Look at that, beautiful. So because we're gonna kind of give these a little loosening, I didn't do this with the air fryer, but that's because it's on a rack and that is getting air surrounding all of those potatoes. So you're having a great circulation of air. Where we have the pan, it's gonna stop it. It's gonna turn it into direct heat on the pan. So we're just gonna give it a good rotation. It's been about 5 or 10 minutes and we are get this back in. We're just gonna scrape it in there. It is nice and cool now. It's also a great trick to cool down soups. If you make a bunch of soup, if you do like big batches of soup, then freeze them. This right here is the best way to cool them down. Okay, we're gonna do about 1/3 cup of mayo. Again, I'm not looking to have this be like super mayo-y. I wanted the rich fatty to go along with all of the delicious flavor that we have in here. So 1/3 cup, and since we are adding all this extra fat, we need to be aware of that. We're just gonna go a little bit more of this Peruvian instead of salt. Just got a little more of that flavor and see where that goes. All right, let's see here. That is delicious. The mayo kind of toned everything down a little bit. It's less of a punch in the face. It is much more tomato forward now. Garlic, woo, waited to the back end. Then it gets you with all the garlic. The onions there, it adds this like delicate sweetness to it. Add a little bit more of this. Add a little more smoky. Maybe a little cumin. I don't know. Delicious though. All right. Perfect. All right. And then the other thing that we're gonna do, with a little salt. We're just gonna let that kind of mix up. I'm not gonna do like the full blend. I'm just gonna let it mix up a little bit. All right, we're gonna get this into a squeeze bottle. These are our air fried potatoes. All right, look at these beautiful things right here. Now, I did put them to 450 instead of 425, and I'm glad that I did. I think that's what the heat that it really needed. But we're gonna go ahead and scrape these guys up and off the pan. Get these into our bowl here. All right, look at that. Yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and throw our fresh herbs in here. Throw some over the top of this too, make it nice and pretty. Okay, now we're gonna give this a nice toss. Oh, smells phenomenal. Hit them with a little salt, a little shake, shake, shake. We're gonna put some in here as a way for some like photos later on. But already, like, look at these crispy bits that we have on there. Oh, it's gonna be so delicious. All right, and then we got our little plate here. Let's go ahead and drop these guys on the plate here. There it is. Yeah. Oh. Ooh. Oh, hot. Whoa. But so good. Oh, we have our air fried and our oven roasted potato. I got my Max Man here to help with the taste test. So he doesn't know which one's which, right?
Yep.
Can you tell which one is the air fryer versus the oven roasted?
I don't know what's air fried.
You don't know which one's air fried?
Yeah.
Which one if you were to guess?
That's one.
You think that's the air fry? Why?
Because it got because it's not roasted like this one.
Oh, it's not roasted like that one, huh? Oh, okay. Do you want to try it?
Sure.
All right, here we go. Let's give that one a try. I like that. Let's try one of these. Ready? All right. Let's try one of these.
Yeah.
Which one do you like better? You like this one better?
Better.
You like both better? You got to choose one. Which one do you like better?
This one is kind of spicy, but not that hot.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what was that one?
So this is the air fry one, and then this is the oven roasted one. Now, this is what I want you to do. Let's try this tomato sauce that I made.
It's a lot hotter.
So yeah, these are a little bit more fresh out of the oven. But that sauce is really good, huh?
It's really hot.
That roasted Potatas Bravas, tomato aioli kind of thing that we did, phenomenal. Tell me what you think of the sauce.
What's spicier?
The sauce has a little spice in it. For the Peruvian, it's a little smoky because it kind of tastes like a fancy fry sauce.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. What's the verdict? Air fried versus oven roasted. What do you think?
Air fry.
Air fried. He's a man of convenience. I respect that.
I thought this was air fried.
Nope, this is the oven roasted. Do you like this one's better or this one better?
This one's better.
You like this one? You like the air fry? Why do you like the air fry better?
Because it's not that spicy.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Thank you for helping me out. The herbs at the end do a great job of lifting the whole potato. It's not enriched into it. I feel like the herbs are a little bit more present on the oven roasted because of the stems and everything that we boiled in the water. But I will say that even when I don't have a whole lot of herbs on one of these, I can still taste the herbs. Whereas if this doesn't have a whole lot of herbs, I'm not going to get an herb. You really need to have those herbs on there to really feel and taste it. As they hang out and the oils kind of leak out onto them and they get tossed and you get the smell of the herbs, that's going to help you taste them. Something I will say about the oven roasted versus the air fry. Air fry is definitely all about that convenience. Now, a lot of people ask, what's the difference between restaurant food and home cooking? And a lot of it has to do with the ingredients, the quality of the ingredient, all those kinds of things. I think the big missing link is the patience to do this. This is why grandma's cooking is always phenomenal. They talk about, oh, my grandma made this and she stewed over the stove, because there was patience. There was no corners being cut, and that's what gives you the results of this. Whereas this is really just trying to mimic this. But this is so good. Now, not saying that you shouldn't air fry your potatoes. I do it all the time. I think it's phenomenal. But when you have the time and you have the patience to do all the different steps, you get a result that's deeper and richer in flavor and textures and everything. So I think I lean towards this when I have the time, but there's nothing wrong with a good air fried potato. I love them. And I can eat these all day. Thank you so much for watching. This was delicious. I'm glad we were able to put this to the test. And I think that depending on the situation, you can't go wrong. It's a potato, and potatoes are so delicious. So eat more potatoes, like, subscribe, do all those fun things so you can see me eating more potatoes and cooking other fun things. And we'll see you next time.